Yo, what's happening, everybody? Paul Anthony here. Today is Sunday, Super Bowl Sunday. Who do you guys got? The Eagles or the Patriots? Should be a good game. Excuse me, I think I'm getting a little sick here. But anyways, man, we have to talk Bitcoin. What is going on? A lot of people are freaking out, thinking that the price is going dramatically lower, which makes me think, as a contrarian, that possibly this is the bottom. If you checked out my last video on Bitcoin, we were going over the technical analysis, and Bitcoin responds very well to technical analysis. And I was expecting this ABCD pattern to complete and look for the bounce. And I took all my indicators off the chart so we could see this a little bit more clear. And measuring this out as accurate as I could, this ABC down, we almost hit it exactly. I mean, it was right on the button. I went in. If you guys watched my last video, you know that I'm long at this 7,500 range, and I'm holding it. And if I get stopped out, I'm going to take a small loss and get stopped out. But I want to take a look at the bigger picture here, because Bitcoin right now is looking like it's going to roll over technically. And when you add on top of it a couple factors. So one thing I talked about in the last video is I haven't seen the pattern that usually shows up when there's a capitulation. When everyone just throws in the towels like, F it, get me out of my position at any price. It produces a certain type of chart pattern, a volume pattern, as well as candlestick pattern that can be identified as probably the capitulation bottom. We haven't got that yet. So that's one thing. The second thing is the futures contracts, they all expanded in volume pretty dramatically going into the weekend. And the bounce that Bitcoin was able to produce was pretty pathetic. I mean, I was expecting a much more powerful bounce. If you look back here in this area, when we came down off of this high, this looked like, where are we at right here? So right here, this looked like the end of the world. Bitcoin, it was Bitcoin crash, everything on the news, it looked horrible. This was coming down to this 5,000, mid 5,000 range area. Now this just looks like a small blip on the radar. But the way we recovered out of that was very powerful. And you could tell that we were going to get something going. Now this correction here has went on much longer. We completed a very large ABC to the downside. I would be expecting a much more impressive bounce. And it was pretty whack. I mean, no two ways about it. Right now, it looks like we're going to break that low. And once that gets broken, most of the traders that got in where I did, if they already did not take their profits because the bounce was looking pretty weak, they're definitely going to get stopped out right here for a small loss. And I don't think there's very many people willing to step in and purchase right now. So what do we do? Because the main theme of all these videos is to try to teach you guys just the basics of technical analysis, so you could you really need to learn just the basics. I mean, if you're going to invest in these markets, you have to take the time. Well, you don't have to. You can do whatever you want. But it's very prudent to take the time to learn some of the basic technical analysis so you can save yourself from getting smoked out. I mean, a lot of people got caught up. One of the things about trading is we want to take the emotion out of the trading. And that's what gets people in trouble a lot. So there was a lot of emotion up here. Oh my God, it's going to 100,000. It's going to 1 million. People were mortgaging their homes. I mean, just crazy talk. And if you understood the basics of technical analysis, you would see like this double top failed and you want to get out of town ASAP. You don't want to be buying the high. And even if you were anticipating a breakout here, which would be, the odds would be against you because of this candlestick formation. You have this shooting star type of candle that it's going back into. Typically, that's always a failure pattern, but it could break out. You don't want to buy that anyways. You want to wait for the first retracement and then take it, because you just never know. This could happen and you're smoked. and you mortgaged your house, and now you wake up every day with a headache, stomachache, all the above, and you want to get rid of your coins. And you're going to get rid of them way at the bottom when there's traders that are just looking at the chart that know it's a good time to buy. And you could have saved yourself a lot of heartache just learning some of the basics here. So there is a lot of, well, I couldn't say a lot of because I've only been watching videos this morning, but I'm hearing a lot of chatter and seeing a lot of chatter on the YouTube about Bitcoin maximalists that they call themselves that are saying this is it, it's over, blah, blah, blah. So we'll see, because now you have the emotion on the other side. And usually that's where we bounce out of here. So it's going to be quite the chess match going forward, but we want to try to take away, or at least I want to, in my trading, which has kept me in the game, is to take the emotion out of it and follow the chart. What is the chart telling me, and how do we structure our trades to profit the best that we can, So first of all, it would have been a good idea for me to take profits because this bounce looked like it was rolling. It looked pretty weak. It really did. Litecoin looked much more impressive out the gate. Litecoin had a much more impressive bounce. So that's going to be interesting. I'm going to do a review of the Litecoin chart. But where do we go from here is what everyone wants to know. So we have key support at that previous low, right around the 5,500 range. And to me, that's where it looks like we're going. The way this is set up. And the volume pattern just doesn't look good. Every time we're breaking lows, volume's expanding. So I'm guessing that Wall Street, I was unsure going into the weekend, but now I'm pretty sure Wall Street is net short. But we will see, because these Bitcoin maximalist guys are really freaking out. So I'm going to keep my stop where it's at. I'm going to give it this a little bit of room and stop out. Now, when we look at Fibonacci extensions off of this ABC, just to get down to the 127, which is on the way up, when I was trading these cryptos, so Ripple, Stellar, EOS, Bitcoin, Litecoin, they all did extensions on the way up. They all did Fibonacci extensions. Some of them 2618 extensions, which is just insane. But most of them did 1618 extensions on the way up, and they extended a very large ABC already. So this was massive moves, technically very, very, very large moves. So it's not unlikely to see Bitcoin come down to at least a 127 extension to the downside. And I know a lot of you guys that are invested, that are looking for Bitcoin to bounce, that it's going to $1 million, don't want to hear this, but we're talking, 3,800 range. So that's the rub on Bitcoin. I mean, man, it's the other side of the market. You always have to be aware there's two sides to the market. There's buyers and there's sellers. Unfortunately, here in the U.S., there wasn't very good ways until recently in the futures market to short Bitcoin. There was Kraken. I never traded on the Kraken exchange, but a lot of people said, Kraken was pretty much dog shit. They had a lot of problems with it. So I don't know. But in Asia, from what I hear, they were able to short. So someone is cleaning up to the downside. So we're going to have to see how this plays out over the next couple hours. I hope everyone enjoys their Super Bowl. And just remember, you don't get too exposed in these markets. Nothing is a guarantee. When someone tells you it's a guarantee, this Bitcoin is going to 40,000, 100,000, it's just not. It's just not. So do your homework. Money, there's an old saying out there, money is easy to make but very hard to keep. So people that it's really, you give back a lot of money on these things and you're just chasing your tail, where you just spend a little bit of time, learn some of the basic technical analysis, and save yourself a lot of bread. So expect an update from me here in the near future. I hope you guys enjoy the Super Bowl, and peace out.